Hi everyone, and you're very, very welcome. We're here at the PwC Media Suite at Platform 94 in the Merview Industrial Estate. And as we've already seen with previous draws, we get looked after incredibly well, and it's always the case and will be for these draws, because you are about to witness the draws for the 2025 Connacht Underage Cup competitions in boys and girls rugby. Now, there are different formats for each of the competitions. We'll try and talk you through all of it as it happens. But let's not waste any more time, because I know that there are clubs right around the province this very moment who are all telling me to shut up and get on with it. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. And we are going to start with the Girls' Cup draws. Now, there are different changes to formats, and we'll go through them as they happen. And also, may I remind you, all of our competitions in Connacht Rugby at underage level are sponsored by Bank of Ireland. And I want to say a very special word of thanks indeed to Brian Carey and Bank of Ireland for their fantastic support, as they always do. Right, let's get on with the draws. We're going to start with the under 14 girls. And to do the girls' draws, you know what, it gives me a great pleasure, because this lady isn't just a Connacht legend, but she's also an old friend as well. A girl who has been, shall we say, the ultimate sportswoman, if you can put it that way. National Football League winner with Galway, Connacht Interprovincial, has played in the Celtic League with the Clovers, and isn't bad as a horsewoman either. Orla Dixon, you're very welcome.
Thank you for having me.
The Girls' Cup competitions are special. You started at a later age. Well, you started in university when you started playing rugby, but you've seen in the past number of years how much the game has progressed, and in fact how much of an inspiration you've become to a whole new generation.
Oh, absolutely. I only picked up rugby when I started in university, and you can see the massive difference even with the younger girls coming into Connacht setup now, where they started their rugby careers at underage. It's a massive opportunity to develop your skills from a young age, to bring it forward. And there's girls getting their first cap with the senior team at 18, which is a massive improvement, and it just shows the skill, the commitment, and the progression of women's rugby in Connacht. It's brilliant to see.
And it's amazing that the size that you've been involved with Connacht, a lot of those girls are now the product of underage rugby in their respective clubs, and it carries on, and it brings everybody along with the way that their standards have risen.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of clubs in Connacht now have minis starting with their rugby skills from under 8, under 7s, under 8s, all the way up. Girls now and boys in schools, they're getting more game time in schools. They're developing the rugby skills, and they're bringing that into their clubs. And once they go to their clubs, then they're progressing even further with aspirations of going on for Connacht underage.
And let's not forget your own school, St. Charles College, have done phenomenally well.
They have.
And the one thing about it is, and look, St. Charles, let's look at it as a prime example. A school that was very much Gaelic games orientated. Yeah. But in more recent times, and you've been part of that as well, the development of their rugby programme has seen them reach latter stages of competitions, and it's only a matter of time before they start really taking on the big ones.
Oh, absolutely. Particularly in my school in St. Charlotte's, we have under 14s junior, which I had coached up until last year, and then the senior team. And lads and the lads in the school that might have had any sport or only dabbling in a bit of Gaelic football or hurling really took to the rugby. Rugby is such an inclusive sport that everybody can go and participate in, whether or not you're a forward or a back. It's a full team sport, and it's great to see in schools.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if High Cross College nabbed you to take on their girls' programmes in due course. But Orla, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to have a bit of fun with this over the next while. The reason I'm grabbing such a big heavy piece of paper is because there's a lot of writing to be done. But we are going to start with the draws for the under 14 Girls' Cup competitions. Now, let's go through the format for this. You're going to have 4 pools. There are going to be 5 teams in pool 1. There's going to be 4 then in 2, 3 and 4, or A, B, C and D, whichever way you want to go. We've got top seeds, bottom seeds and unseeded teams. This draw isn't too bad. When we get to under 16s, under 18s, it gets complicated, but we'll go through that in due course. Right, let's look at the top seeds first of all. And these are the top seeds for the under 14 Girls' Cup. And they are the Amalgamated Corinthians and Galwegians. You have got Westport. We move on to Ballinasloe And finally, Craig's. So, Orla, if you would, hand in there and we will draw the first team. These are all the top seeds, remember. And the first team that will go into Pool A of the top seeds, and they are Ballinasloe.
Ballinasloe.
So Ballinasloe will be the first team in Pool A. And next team, this team will go into Pool B.
Westport.
Westport. One of the most scenic home grounds there are in the country, even though the other clubs are going to kill me for saying that. But Caraholly is something special, I have to say.
Craig's.
Craig's will be in Pool C. Of course, the wonderful facilities that they have down there, and a little bit of news about that to come. And finally, Corinthians and Galwegians. Well, for once, the two of us are agreeing on something as regards the club is concerned. But now, there we go, Corinthians and Galwegians. Right, so that's it. Now we're going to move into the bottom seeds. And these are the bottom seeds. And they're going to be next drawn out. So you have Loughrea. You have got Ballina. Next up are Sligo and Buccaneers. So there are bottom seeds. So let's go with this one again. So who's going to join Ballinasloe in Pool A? And it is
Ballina.
Ballina. So Ballina are in Pool A. In Pool B,
Loughrea.
Loughrea going with Westport. Nice trip for them, if it happens. Next, who's going to be with Craig's?
Buccaneers.
Bit of a local derby. Buccaneers in Pool C. And in Pool D, with Corinthians and Galwegians, and they are
Sligo.
Sligo. So at the moment, let's recap very quickly. Pool A is Ballinasloe and Ballina. In Pool B is Westport and Loughrea. In Pool C, Craig's and Buccaneers. And in Pool D, Corinthians, Galwegians and Sligo. Which brings us now to the next of our teams. And these are our unseeded teams. So we'll just go through them. Connemara, another fantastic venue there in the Monastery Field. Ballinrobe. I'm showing my age when I talk about the race course. Gort Munavay. Ballyhaunis. Claremorris, Dunmore, Portumna, Corrib and Castlebar. There are unseeded teams. Now just to remind you, Pool A is going to have 5 teams. All the other pools have 4 each. So Orla, the first team in Pool A, or the third team in Pool A, the first of the unseeded teams are Corrib. Corrib in Pool A. In Pool B, alongside Westport and Loughrea.
Ballyhaunis.
Ballyhaunis. Okay, in Pool C.
Gort Munavay.
Gort Munavay. Pool D.
Dunmore.
Dunmore. Along with Corinthians, Galwegians and Sligo. And we now move to our next team in Pool A, and they are?
Ballinrobe.
Ballinrobe. So, along with Westport, Loughrea and Ballyhaunis in Pool B are?
Connemara.
Connemara. In Pool C?
Portumna.
Interesting pool, that. Could be good, that one. Pool D?
Castlebar.
Castlebar. And we've got one team left, and they will go into Pool A. They'll be the 5th team in Pool A.
Claremorris.
And that is Claremorris. Right, so we now have our pools for the Girls Under 14 Cup sponsored by Bank of Ireland, and let's recap on them. In Pool A, it's Ballinasloe, Ballina, Corrib, Ballinrobe and Claremorris. A bit of a Mayo derby, actually. I'm just noticing there between Ballina, Ballinrobe and Claremorris, and Corrib are on the border. Pool B, you've got Westport, Loughrea, Ballyhaunis and Connemara. You know what, I'd almost argue that's the scenic competition. Pool C, you've got Craig's, Buccaneers, Gort Munavay and Portumna. And in Pool D, Corinthians, Galwegians, Sligo, Dunmore and Castlebar. Full details of all games will be released on the Connacht Rugby website in due course. And that brings me along actually to where the finals are going to take place. All finals are being held this season in the brilliant facilities down there in Craig's. So That's just a quick announcement, and it'll be the same for all underage competitions, girls and boys as well. So it's going to be a fantastic day out when those finals take place. Orla, quick thought on those under 14s. I'll tell you, it's a fair draw, and there's going to be some great rugby played there.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of those teams have huge history with developing their underage girls. There's to be some very fantastic games played there between them. I have cousins that play with the Clamars team, so it'll be nice to see those girls play along with Corinthians, Galwegians. It'll be nice to see how that comes together nicely. Craigs are always a strong team. Their seniors are into their first final, so it'll be a very exciting under 14 competition.
You're looking forward to it, really looking forward to it. Just for the record, by the way, the under 14 cup was won by Chumuk Derard last season, with the plate going to Westport. This year you're going to have a cup, plate and bowl competition. So once the pool stages are finished, the top team will go into the cup, the team that finished second go into the plate, and the third team go into the bowl. And that is because of course we have to get these games played out. We're taking a break for a couple of minutes. Let's get things organised for the under 16s, because I did say we're going to have a bit of fun with this. The under 16 draw, and this is where we're going to have four pools of four pools. Three of them have four teams, and the next team will have three. We have our league finalists as well. We have our top seeds in Divisions 1, bottom seeds Division 1, same for Division 2 as well. We'll go into all of that and much more directly after this. Well, you're very welcome back to the PWC suite here at Platform 94. We've already had the draw for the Under 14 Girls Cup. Now it's time for the Under 16. If there's a little bit of sweat in my forehead, there's a reason why, because this gets kind of complicated. I'll give you the simple bit first, right? 4 groups. The first group has 4 teams, second has 4, third has 4, third team has 3. But it's not that part that makes it difficult. What we've actually got, we now have a separation as regards the way the teams are going to be drawn out, and I'll explain. The first group of teams that we are going to pick are going to be the league finalists in Divisions 1 and in Division 2. We'll also have the top seeds Division 1, bottom seeds Division 1, top seeds Division 2, bottom seeds Division 2. Does it make sense? Probably not, but we'll work it as we go through. Orla's still with me. You're the teacher. I'm going to ask you to make sense of all of this. But looking at it from a playing front, I mean, this is the under 16 girls competition now. This is where things. Under 14 is brilliant and is very serious in its own right. But once you hit under 16, these are nearly at adult level. We're talking top quality rugby. And a lot of these girls could be into provincials in the next year or so as well. So there's always a bit more interest in this kind of competition.
Oh, absolutely, particularly with the under 16s, because with the under 16 girls now at this level, their aim now would be the Connacht under 18s team.
The interprovincial winning Connacht under 18s team.
Exactly. Connacht, the under 18s provincial for Connacht has been hugely successful down through the years, and that's because of our underage girls coming up through the ranks. So the girls playing in this league in the under 16s, that's their goal, is to get onto that panel for the Connacht under 18s.
Yeah, Craig Hansbury was a very, very busy man last season. He did more miles than I did.
Yeah.
The amount of travelling he did around the province. One of the nicest guys. And of course, Natalie Fox as well as team manager. Another incredibly busy. I better mention Nat, by the way. Sarah Jane was home over Christmas. She's watching this, so hi SJ. We're moving on to that. Now, I'm going to start, of course, we are going to go, as we mentioned, there are different groupings, so we're going to take it as quickly as we possibly can. So we'll start with the league finalists. Now, these are league finalists in divisions. They made the league finals in Division 1 and Division 2 in no particular order. We've got Dunmore. Next up, you've got Gort Monivea. You've got Ballinasloe. And you have Westport. So, Orla, if you wouldn't mind, first team of our league finalists that will be going into Pool A.
Ballinasloe.
Ballinasloe. In Pool B.
Dunmore.
Dunmore. In Pool C.
Gort Monivea.
Gort Monivea. And in Pool D.
Westport.
Westport. Okay, there are first teams for our 4 respective pools. Now, like I said, you've got 4, 4, 4, and 3. I'm just going to make sure I've got that right so that we don't make a hames of it. No, it's yeah, it is 4, 4, 4, and 3. So we're now going to move into the top seeds in Division 1. These are the top seeds in Division 1, and again, they're going to be drawn out separately to the respective pools. So we will start with Craig's. Next up, you've got Claremorris. And you've got Buccaneers. So, Orla, if you would do it again. So the first team that will go into this team will join Ballinasloe in Pool A. Claremorris. Unbelievable club as regards their development in recent years, both girls and boys.
Oh, absolutely.
Next up,
Buccaneers.
I mentioned actually one of the great PROs of Connacht Rugby, Mike Silk, who's with Buccaneers. Next up,
Craig's.
Of course, Cola Kiripati did phenomenal work with their women's team over the past couple of years as well. So there are our 3 teams that are now gone into pools A, B and C. But as you can see, Pool D is left vacant. The first team of the bottom seeds in Division 1 will be the first team in Pool D. So we have Ballina, we have Sligo, and we have Chumuk. So if you would. So this team will go into Pool D and they will go in alongside Westport.
Ballina.
So Ballina will be in with Westport. So now we start again with the different pools. So we'll go back to Pool A.
Chumuk.
An amazing club, of course. Their adult team reached the All-Ireland Junior Cup final last season.
And Sligo.
Go into Pool B and they're in there with Dunmore and Buccaneers. So it's going to be a nice spin for Buccaneers to Sligo or for
or
Sligo,
the
other way around. We're now going to move into the top. These are the top seeds now in Division 2. So they're next into the pot, and they are Castlebar and Loughrea. So if you would, we'll take so I'm making sure I've got this right now. Yep, Pool C.
Castlebar.
So Castlebar, Clondesh, of course, is their home ground. They're in with Gortmunavay and Craig's.
And then Loughrea.
Piece of useless information. The very first game of rugby I played was against Loughrea.
Oh.
Many years ago. We'll move on to our... These are the teams now that would be the bottom seeds of Division 2. So now what we're going to get, you're going to get one team going into Pool A, and that will give us our 4. And so on and so forth, 4B, 4 and C. So we have Carrick and Shannon, and we have Ballinrobe, and Corinthians. So, Orla, if you would. So this is now going to be a 4. So it's basically, we now know the 3-team pool, and that's Westport, Ballina, and Loughrea. All other teams are going to make up the pools A, B, and C. Fire.
Ballinrobe.
So Ballinrobe will be in Pool A. In Pool B,
Carrick and Shannon.
And in Pool C,
Corinthians.
I have a funny feeling Will Johnson's not going to like you very much for that pool draw. But let's go through the...
Tough pool.
It's a tough pool. It is a very, very tough pool, but it's also a very entertaining pool.
Yeah.
And you're going to have some great rugby played in all of the 4 pools, but Pool C could be very tasty. Well, I'll get your thoughts in a second. Let's recap on the pools for A, B, C and D, again in the Girls Under 16 Cup, sponsored by Bank of Ireland. In Pool A, you've got Ballinasloe, Claremorris, Chumuk and Ballinrobe. In Pool B, Dunmore, Buccaneers, Sligo and Carrick and Shannon. In Pool C, Gortmunavay, Craig's, Castlebar and Corinthians. And in Pool D, Westport, Ballina and Loughrea. And we talked about Pool C, but in fairness, each and every one of those pools, there's going to be so much good rugby played. These girls' skill levels have of course gone up a bit. You know, some of them might have been playing under 16 inch pro, playing in friendlies or whatever with Connacht. You know, it's really exciting to see what those games have.
I think each of these pools you're going to see some very competitive, top-class rugby being played by underage 16 girls. None of these teams are going to have an easy game ahead of them. Each team is going to have to work and fight for each other, and it'll be very exciting to watch.
It will be. It's really exciting, even just looking at those 4 pools. Somebody made a comment recently that you gave out to me for bigging it up. You can't big that up enough. It's absolutely brilliant, those games, and well done, Orla. That's a good draw. That is the pool. That's the under 16. The dates of all of those games at under 16 level will be announced in due course by Connacht Rugby. Quick commercial break. The Girls Under 18 Cup is up next. Well, you're very welcome back to Platform 94, the PwC suite, and we're still smiling from that Girls Under 16 Cup draw, because that is one hell of, actually there's 4 one hell of the pools, if you kind of put it that way, all up on the Connacht Rugby website very, very shortly. Of course, we are here for the Girls Underage Cup draw, sponsored by Bank of Ireland, and again to Brian Carey and all at Bank of Ireland, our deepest appreciation for your support of these competitions. Sorry, Orla, I still can't stop smiling from that Under 16 Cup draw. We're going to move to the Under 18s now, and now, like we've mentioned kind of in passing during the Under 16 draw, these are into provincials. We're now talking serious rugby at this stage. Some of these will be playing adult rugby as well, given the opportunity.
Given the opportunity, absolutely.
And because of how well Connacht has done, don't mean to put the frighteners on these girls, but because of how well Connacht has done under 18 level, like we see with Leinster, sometimes with other provinces, sometimes there's a bit of interest in those competitions, not just in the Connacht viewpoint, but right across the country.
Oh, absolutely. There's so many different partners that would be interested in these club under 18 games, not only for Connacht but even further for your NTS, your national development squads. These girls, if they put in the work, and if they perform, and if they do everything that they can possibly do to prepare themselves, they have massive opportunities ahead for themselves.
And to mention, let's big up your own club, Galwegians, for a moment, because even in talking to Jack Clark, Dervla Canty, Dervla Campbell, of course, there's an amazing amount of work that's being done now by Galwegians in developing the underage game, not just the adult game. It's you guys that they want to emulate. The guys who are playing in the Energy Women's League, being the likes of Old Belvedere, taking on the likes of Blackrock, taking on Railway Union, the top sides with the internationals.
Yeah.
And of course, you've internationals yourselves in the club, and Nicole, of course, Mary Healy, former Irish scrum half.
Yeah, Murray Coyne.
Yeah, Mairead Coyne. Yourself as a member of the Clovers.
Yeah.
And I still think it was absolute robbery you were never picked. But anyway, that is my own personal opinion, and I will keep that one. So
thanks.
No problem. Let's move to the top. We'll go to league finalists first at under 18 level, and these are Corinthians. Next up are Gort Monavea. Like I said, there is no particular order for these. These Division 1, Division 2 league finalists. You've got Chumuk Derard, spectacular club at the moment, and Craigs. So how we're going to work it, there's going to be one pool of 4 and then 3 pools of 3. And Orla, if you pick the first one out, please, we'll go to the first team in Pool A.
Craigs.
So Craigs will be the first. And like I mentioned, Culla Kirkpatrick and the team have done great work down there.
Gort Monavea.
Gort Monavea. Another club with fantastic work being done on the race level.
Corinthians.
Corinthians. I have to say, I want to mention Catherine Collins and the rest of them at under 18 level down there.
Chumuk Derard.
And Chumuk Derard. And there's not much that needs to be said that Chumuk Derard haven't achieved in the past 12 months. It's been absolutely remarkable. We've got 4 really top class clubs in the league finalist section. Now we're going to move to the top seeds in Division 1. And again, we could, it's so funny, we could just say something really special about each of them. We've got Sligo, and next up are Ballina. So they're going to take up the spots in pools A and B. So who's going to be with Craigs?
Sligo.
Sligo in pool A. And in pool B?
Ballina.
Ballina. Right, they are our teams in pool B. Now let's move to the next teams. These are the bottom seeds in Division 1, and they are Castlebar Westport, Claremorris, and Ballinasloe. So the first team will be put into Pool C with Corinthians.
Ballinasloe.
Ballinasloe. And the next team will be in Pool D with Chumuk Derard.
Claremars.
That'll be a good game.
Be a fantastic game.
Yeah, it will be a really good game. Serious work done by both clubs at this particular age level as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be one of the games of the entire first round. So next up in Pool A.
Castlebar, Westport.
So Castlebar. It's actually interesting and another piece of useless information, but Castlebar actually had a team in the women's AIL many years ago, going back to 2001, 2001. So lasted for a season or two, but in fact I think it installed a little bit of love of the game actually with and it continues to this day, of course, with the under 18s. So
exactly.
Well done. Right, so we have our teams now in pools A, B and C. Now there are still some teams still to be picked out, and we're going to move on to we're getting too much fun chatting, Orla. We're forgetting about the draw. Top seeds in Division 2 are Buccaneers and Ballinrobe Corb. Ballinrobe Corb. So if you would. So next team will go into Pool B.
Ballinrobe Corb.
Ballinrobe Corb. And next up in Pool C.
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Which leaves us with the bottom seeds in Division 2, and they are Carrick-on-Shannon and Loughrea. So just two left. One of them will go into Pool D, one will go into Pool A.
Carrick-on-Shannon.
So Carrick-on-Shannon, they're in Pool D, and in Pool A, the fourth team will be
Loughrea.
Loughrea. So we have it. There we are. The pool stages for the Under 18 Cup sponsored by Bank of Ireland. Let's recap on the teams again. In Pool A, Craigs, Sligo, Castlebar, Westport and Loughrea. In Pool B, Gorp, Munavay, Ballina and Ballinrobe Corb. In Pool C, Corinthians, Ballinasloe and Buccaneers. And in Pool D, Chumuk Derard, Claremars and Carrick-on-Shannon. And again, we've got some fantastic games to look forward to here.
Yeah, exciting rugby there to be played in the under 18s.
It really is. Absolutely. Orla, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks a million.
And just all that needs to be said and left to be said is the dates for all of these games. Full details will be on the Connacht Rugby website in due course. Thanks to Bank of Ireland, of course, to everybody here at the PwC Suite and Platform 94. Don't go too far because we will have the Boys Underage Cup draws coming up in a little while. But from here, for now, thanks for watching.